Good morning, 7th grade. Thursday's assignment has us completing the short account of Barrio Boy. Our assignment today is called Close Read. That simply means that we're going to go back and we're going to look very carefully for story details as well as place an emphasis upon this week's skill lesson, which dealt with the central thought or the main idea of the story. I've included a couple of things for review that will help us remember what we had read from the other day's class. The first is the introduction. You have both the audio and the video here that you can take a look at. The second are the text-dependent vocabulary words. Once again, review these vocabulary words by dragging and dropping the definition into the box for the vocabulary term. You do not need to do the sample sentences today. We did those sample sentences before, so you can omit doing those sample sentences today. So you're reviewing the introduction, you're reviewing the text-dependent vocabulary, and you're also reviewing the story. Included for us on this third tab is the audio for the summary, as well as the audio for the story. After you complete listening to the story, we're going to go to the right section. When you go to the right section, you're going to want to click Split Screen. On the right-hand side, we have the prompts for the questions that we're going to be responding to. And on the left-hand side, we have our story that we're going to be needing because it's in the story that we're going to be highlighting and listing our answers to the questions. You've been practicing this week using your keyboard for annotation. Once again, our directions are listed here. If you don't want to use your keyboard, you can do it manually by using the cursor, highlighting a section of text, and then this dialog box will pop up, permitting you to create a highlight of one of 6 colors, your choice, as well as to put an answer inside of the box. At any time, you can create these notes, or you can remove them. Each one of our 5 questions today, you're going to be asked to refer to a part in the story. And then when you find the part in the story, you're going to be highlighting. Then you're going to be putting your answer inside of the note box. I would suggest and recommend that you click the Numbers tab on the top of the page. It's going to help you easily find the number that's being referenced in the questions. Let's do number 1 together. As you reread the excerpt from Barrio Boy, remember that like most authors, Galarza never explicitly states the central ideas. Instead, it is up to the reader to infer the central ideas by drawing inferences from what is stated directly in the text. The author doesn't say, here's my central idea. He gives us facts, he gives us details, and then we need to figure it out. We need to make an inference. Reread paragraph 17. What details in the paragraph support the opening sentence? At Lincoln, making us into Americans did not mean scrubbing away what made us originally foreign. Use the annotation tool to jot down notes about how this sentence might state a central idea. I'm going to scroll down to paragraph number 17. Here it says to use paragraph 17. The answer to my statement here about how the sentence relates to the central idea is found right below it. So here's my first sentence. I'm going to highlight this so we can easily see it. Then it says, what is found that supports this? What supports this idea? Lincoln is their school. Making us into Americans did not mean scrubbing away. In other words, these children who had come to school that had a different culture from a different country were not being asked to change. they were being taught English and the other skills that they were going to need to help them to be successful in their new homes. As I'm looking in this paragraph, I'm immediately seeing two things that are going to help me to support this statement. One is the teachers called us as our parents did, or as close as they could pronounce our names in Spanish or Japanese. I'm going to highlight this because this is going to be part of my answer. The next sentence, no one was ever scolded or punished for speaking in his native tongue on the playground. These two items give me the answer to how this sentence stated a central idea. What details in the paragraph support this sentence? This one does. The teachers use their names. Even though their names may have been hard to pronounce because they were in a foreign language from a foreign country, the teachers did the best they could to use their given names. Secondly, the students weren't yelled at, they weren't scolded, they weren't punished for using their native, their born language on the playground. So if you had a group of Japanese students playing together, they might have spoken in Spanish, or if they were Japanese, they may have spoken in Japanese, and then they weren't punished for that, okay? Now that I've highlighted these items, I clicked edit. Let me show you that once again. I highlighted this, I clicked on there and put edit, because now I'm going to put a short answer inside of this box, okay? I'm going to put the teachers did not force the students to change. Students were not forced to throw everything away. I think the words that were used in my sentence were scrubbing, okay? Scrub away. They didn't make it go away. So number one, I highlighted those items from paragraph 17 that supported the sentence. Number two, in the box, I placed a short answer which described those items which supported the sentence. And now I click Save the Note. These were the details. This is my note. You'll see the reason that this is underlined is because I put a note on here. There's no note on this sentence, but the note is on this sentence. The teachers did not force the students to change. That's why this looks underlined. Okay? That answers question number one. You'll notice when I highlight these items, it makes it much easier for me to see. It also is my answer. When I look at your submitted work, I'm going to see what you highlighted, and then I'll be able to click on this just as I'm doing here, and I'm going to be able to see your response to question number one. Now, I understand you're not going to do everything absolutely correct, and you're not maybe going to have the best of luck. I want you to try the best that you can to make your highlighting and your annotations using your note box, okay? And if you're having any problems with this as you're working through, please send me a message and I'll help you work through here. So each one of these, number two, it references paragraph number 8. Number 3, it references paragraph number 16. Number 4 says reread the first and last paragraph. There's no paragraph numbers, but this is the first paragraph, and then to the bottom of the page, this paragraph 17, which we read, or portion of it just a bit ago, is the last paragraph. And then number 5 says refer to paragraph number 12. Okay? Now the last thing that you need to do Today, there's nothing in the response box because everything that I'm asking you to do is either going to be highlighted and put on a note card. So that we can submit this, I want you to put your name in the box. Simply put your name in the box, and after you've typed something in the box, then click submit. When you leave this blank, this may not always be highlighted and not always give you the opportunity to submit. So simply put your name in the box and then click submit. When you click submit, I will be able to score and record your lesson on GradeLink. So in review for today, section number 1, the introduction. Section number 2, review of the dependent vocabulary. You do not need to do the sample sentence. If you want to make one, that's fine, but it is not required. Section 3, the reading with the audio support. And section 4, split screen, follow the directions, use the paragraph, easily found by making the numbers. Either use the keyboard annotation with the directions or deselect that and do it manually by creating your highlights. That's Thursday's assignment. If you have any questions, please get a hold of me. Again, it's really important that when you finish, you select submit. Have a great Thursday.